Welcome. Today I want to talk to you about I bet you do this. All right. I bet you do this. And before you think about what I'm going to say, I bet that you do this. I want you to tag your friends, let your friends know what's up, let them know this is a live stream. And it's all about trying to convince yourself that you're too late. I'm going to give you a few case scenarios. So this morning, okay, I'll share my story. I'll be vulnerable here. This morning, I go to hit my alarm clock. No, I'm sorry, my alarm clock goes off and I bypass my alarm clock. And I'm like, you know what? I'm just gonna put on some meditation. I'm gonna just naturally get up, right? So I compromise my goals here. So how many of you like the night before, you're like, that's it. I've had enough of my own BS. And things are going to be different tomorrow. And then tomorrow comes and you compromise. Compromisation, is that even a word? I think I made a word up. You're compromising your goals. And you convince yourself then when you actually do wake up that it's too late to follow through with the things that you said you were going to do. Because maybe you made this morning routine checklist. You're going to get up, you're going to go work out, you're going to meditate, you're going to journal, you're going to, do your prayers, you're going to, whatever it may be, you're going to strategize. And then in your mind, you said it's too late. Oh, it's too late. I woke up late. And then you have a decision to make in that moment of time that you're going to just allow the voices to take over, or you're actually going to keep forward with the movement. And this is where you actually really get to see how strong your habits are. Are your habits an asset to you, or are they a liability? And so what I mean by this is, say you bypass your alarm, then you start to convince yourself, oh, well, I'm tired. It's late for me. I'm off my schedule. I feel overwhelmed. I don't feel good. And then as soon as you're about to get in that F-it mindset, you really get to see where your habits stand. Sometimes your habits are actually your greatest asset. So meaning you're still going through the movement as you're dragging your feet and moaning and groaning and trying to tell yourself not to do it, but you just realize you're on autopilot. So by the time I notice it, I still put my sneakers on, I put my gym clothes on, even though it's 2 hours past the time I wanted to train. I still got up, trained. I figured out how to put my things together. I still did it because it was wow, I'm so grateful. I've worked so hard to establish habits that have my back in moments when I actually don't. So how many in here, drop a comment in the comment below, do your habits have your back, or are you still establishing habits that are more of a liability, and you're trying to get habits that have your back in moments when you actually don't? When the voices in your head are trying to compromise, negotiate, and convince you that it's too late. Because I've had several calls today, and we're working on establishing some new habits to get them habits that have their back, right? You guys know what I'm talking about, having habits that have your back. And this was a big conversation today, is the whole it's too late. And I bet a lot of you have the mentality of oh, well, it's too late and I'll do it later. But I want to share this story with you. How many of you guys have heard this story of two wolves? Type yes in the chat box. Type no in the chat box if you haven't. All right, so I'm gonna tell you a little story time here. So there's a story with two characters, a grandfather and a grandson. And the grandfather explains his grandson that there are two wolves fighting within him, which is an image that serves as a metaphor for the man's inner sense of conflict. So how many of you have this conflict? I just shared this morning a conflict that I had. And this inner conflict, and the conversation goes between these two inner dialogues. I have a fight going on in me, the old man says. It's taking place between two wolves. One is evil, anger, envy, sorrow, regret, greed, arrogance, self-pity, guilt, resentment, inferiority, lies, false pride, ego. And he looked at the grandson and went on. And the other embodies positive emotions, joy, peace, love, hope, serenity, humility, kindness, benevolence, empathy, generosity, truth, compassion, grace, and faith. And both wolves are fighting to death. They're fighting every day in a battle. They are fighting. And the same fight is going on inside of you, inside of you, inside of you, inside of every single person. And the grandson took a moment to just like process, to reflect. And he says, he looks up at the grandfather and he says, which wolf wins? And the old Cherokee gave a simple reply, said, the one you feed. So the one you feed. So today, or whenever it is that got in your mind of you saying it's too late, I wish I would have started. I should have started, but it's too late. I want to do this, but it's too late. I wish I would have gotten into, but it's too late. So anytime we're going into the space of it's too late, something in yoga practice they teach is like, what time is it? The time is now. You're never going to be ready. There's never going to be a convenient time. It's always going to be too late. And so you do it anyway. But the significance of this is that we learn to establish habits that are going to have our own back in moments when we don't. When there's that inner conflict in the inner voice of those two wolves, the story that I just told you, two wolves, where we have one wolf that is trying to convince us that it's too late in our mind. That when the other wolf that's telling us like, you can do it, get back in the game, like get back up, you got this. And so every single day is an opportunity to decide what repetitions you're putting into your body, into your mind, into your spirit, into your like your emotional state. Because every single day you have the ability to win the day. Even in days where you feel hard and where you feel challenged and you feel exhausted and you feel defeated, those are the moments that matter the most. And so in here, when he says, which one wins, Grandpa? The one you feed. So which voice in your mind are you feeding today? When you wanted to show up or you didn't want to show up? When you hit the snooze alarm and then you woke up late? What can I do? What can I show up for? And so I want to share that with you today because it's actually been three conversations today as far as like doing that and making sure that you have habits, establishing habits that are your greatest asset versus your greatest liability, making sure that you're establishing habits that are like your bestie, that are your bestie and that have your back versus ones that are more of a liability. And so I just want to encourage you today, if you're somebody where you don't feel strong enough to have your own back, you can always schedule a 30-minute strategy call. There is a link in my bio that you can hit. And for those of you on YouTube and Facebook, it is www.tanyacoliver.com/call. Sorry, it's a little late. I'm like, hold on, wait, what is my link? TanyaColiver.com/call. And if you just need accountability, we've got a free 90-day sprint, a free 90-day accountability calendar, and that's TanyaColiver.com/calendar, and that is completely free. And you just guys have an accountability calendar to track your progress. It's right in front of your face. So in moments where you say, oh, it's late, it's not too late. You still have time. You can get back up. You can get back in the day. You can win your day. And if you just take that mindset of moments where you're saying like, my body doesn't feel good, I'm tired, I can't trade the way that I want to. And even this morning, so it's been like raining really heavily here in Miami, and my knees have really been acting up. And another thing in my mind that's been going on where my mind is trying to play tricks on me, right? So we have those two inner voices. And just because you become very good or very skilled at something doesn't mean that those voices go away. It's just what voice is going to dominate? What voice is going to win? What voice are you going to listen to? See, that's the challenge with most of you guys, with most of all of us, is what voice are we listening to? Which voice is the truth? Which voice can we discern? Which voice are we going to feed? Which voice are we going to fuel? And so my mind is just like, man, you can't train the way that you used to. You can't be lifting heavy in the way that you typically want to lift. You're feeling like weak and this and that. So I'm like, you know what, T? We're just going to go back to the basics. We're going to go back to the basics. I love my body. I respect my body. And we just change it into positive words of encouragement. I'm loving on myself. I'm loving on my body. I'm telling my body, you know what? I'm proud of you for showing up. I just did the recumbent bike. I did just split squats. I did some plie squat, just very like light mobility work, and just knowing like just show up and you've already won. Show up and do your best of what you're capable for today. Remember, like every single day you get to make the decision in which voice you're going to feed. Which inner dialogue are you going to give mind fuel to? And if you need support, make sure you build up a strong lineup. You guys, I just showed in my stories. I just brought on a new coach I'm so excited about. I know she's going to take me to the next level because there's things that I can't figure out clearly, or else I would have figured them out. So those are segments that I don't trust myself because I haven't figured it out. That's not my lane. I'm going to hire somebody that has a lane that I want to get in. I want to get in that lane. I want to take things to the next level in that lane. So I just brought in somebody on my team who's going to be a really strong part of my lineup. So in moments where you're not feeling really strong, or you know that there's that next level upgrade, find those people and bring them as part of your lineup. Allow them to be the voice that you don't yet have. So I encourage you guys, if you need a strong lineup, if you want to get on a strategy call, make sure you schedule your 30-minute free strategy call. Share this post if you found value. Share it on your social media. Make sure you tag me, and I will make sure that I acknowledge you. And also drop your comment below on what you received from today's message. What was the big aha? And if you want that 90-day accountability calendar, make sure you download that, and it is free for you at tanyacoliver.com/calendar. All right, you guys, I hope you have a blessed up night. I'm about to head to bed. Peace out, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Bye. Bye, bye, bye.